Next on CTV News tonight, election surprises in Maryland. We'll have details coming up. Good evening. I'm Patricia Vallone with a CTV News update. A lot of Democratic races in Maryland could be decided when the counting of mail-in ballots begins on Thursday. Wes Moore is currently leading in the Democratic race for governor with nearly 37% of the vote. Tom Perez comes in 10 percentage points behind him, and Peter Franchot is at 20%. Congressman Anthony Brown is projected to win the race for Attorney General by both CNN and NBC. Brown is running against Catherine Curran O'Malley. She's a Baltimore City District Court judge and the wife of former Governor Martin O'Malley. Brown released a statement saying he plans to be, quote, a champion for progress because the status quo isn't working for Marylanders. Meantime, in Congress, Glenn Ivey is stifling Donna Edwards' political comeback to regain her old seat. Ivey has 51% of the votes. Edwards has 35%. If he's successful, then odds are that the state's congressional delegation will remain all male. Well, Maryland may be a blue state, but as yesterday's primary revealed, it is also tilting toward Donald Trump. Republicans selected Delegate Dan Cox over Kelly Schultz 56 to 40% in the gubernatorial race. Schultz was Larry Hogan's pick. Cox was anointed by Trump. The first-term delegate not only embraced Trump's rhetoric and QAnon theories, but he also attempted to impeach Governor Hogan. We asked political analyst Dr. Alvin Thornton to weigh in on what a Cox win means.
You have to keep in mind, this is not a Republican versus a Democrat in November. That is not what this will be. This is a Trumpist authoritarian candidacy, a denier. This is a person, remember, who organized bus trips to the January 6th insurrection. This is a person who is on that fringe. Now, even standard Republicans have rejected that. You know, Liz Cheney and Michael Steele and those, they have rejected that. So that will not be, if Schultz had won, Larry Hogan's endorsed candidate, the former Secretary of Commerce, then you would have had more of a traditional Republican-Democrat contest. This will be very different.
On the Democratic side, Thornton says it will come down to Wes Moore or Tom Perez. Moore leads the pack, but the race is still too close to call. Well, a glass ceiling is shattered as Delegate Brooke Learman is projected to become Maryland's Democratic nominee for comptroller. Learman, who has served in the General Assembly since 2015, would be the first woman in that position. The Associated Press projected her win over Bowie Mayor Tim Adams late last night. Learman spoke yesterday with CTV News about her goals.
I'm really excited to reimagine how the comptroller's office can dig into our communities, can work with communities, families, small businesses, modernizing the office, making sure it's present and proactive to help make sure that we're realizing our full potential as a state.
Learman will face Republican Barry Glassman in the November general election. Well, Governor Hogan defends his veto of a bill that would have allowed mail-in ballots to be counted early. It could take days or weeks now for Marylanders to know election results in tightly contested races. The legislation at issue would have let election workers count mail-in ballots early, easing challenges created by the pandemic and redistricting. Maryland is the only state in the nation that forbids tabulating votes until the Thursday after Election Day. Well, County Executive Angela Alsobrooks secured her party's nomination for a second term in office. Many county council races are still up in the air. Attorneys Juanica Fisher and Victor Ramirez are running neck and neck for District 2. Eric Olson is in the lead so far to regain his old seat back in District 3. Ingrid Harrison is leading in District 4 with all Election Day precincts reporting. Walla Blagay leads in the tightly contested race in District 6 with also all precincts reporting. District 7 incumbent Rodney Streeter is trailing far behind activist Crystal Oriatha in a rematch of a 2018 race that was decided by 31 votes. Edward Burrows wins overwhelmingly in District 8 as he did in a special election earlier this year. In District 9, incumbent Sidney Harrison is leading over Democratic rivals. And incumbents Mel Franklin and Calvin Hawkins are currently in the lead for the 2 at-large council seats. Council members Tom Dernogo and Jolene Ivey in Districts 1 and 5 are running unopposed. And you are watching CTV News. I'm Patricia Vallone. Coming up, the city of Bowie is set to unveil a new mural celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King. Stay with us.
Dear humans, I stand here today not for myself, but for every tail wagger, sloppy kisser, and curtain ninja. I stand here for each one of the thousands of dogs and cats killed in shelters each day, asking you to join our cause and help us make sure every best friend has a chance to meet one of their own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge and your help, we can save them all.
Welcome back. Montgomery County leaders recognize a longtime law that has protected residents from housing discrimination for more than 50 years. It's called the Open Housing Law, and it was passed by the council on July 20th back in 1967. The law, which has been on the books for 55 years, protects renters or home buyers from discrimination regardless of age, race, religion, disability, or gender identity. Today, County Executive Mark Elrich and Council President Gabe Albornoz read a proclamation that honors the historic law.
It's critical that we lean in and recognize the importance of measures such as the one we are about to provide a proclamation for, to remember that while we have come a long way, we still have a long way to go. And I can say in the first person that in this last year in particular, when I had the opportunity to visit even more with residents and constituents during this election season, housing consistently was among the issues presented as the deepest concern of residents, and that crossed socioeconomic status, that crossed generations, that crossed zip codes.
Montgomery's law came 9 months before President Lyndon Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act of 1968. Well, here are the latest COVID-19 numbers for our area. Of the 2,036 new cases, 379 are in Prince George's. The county's positivity rate is at 13.17%. 2 Marylanders have died of COVID over the past 24 hours. 542 people are hospitalized. Well, there may soon be a new option on the market for COVID-19 vaccines. Gaithersburg-based biotech company Novavax is one step away from final approval of its COVID-19 vaccine. A CDC panel has voted unanimously to approve the vaccine. The last step is for CDC Director Rochelle Walensky to approve the recommendation. A new inspirational art piece is being created in Bowie this week. A 22-foot tall mural of Dr. Martin Luther King is being painted at the Bowie City Gym. This public art project started Monday, and the final touches are being added today. Muralist Desiree Kelly explains her vision for the piece.
So it was inspired by Dr. King's quote about social injustice. I wanted to not only create a portrait of him, but also spread that meaning behind the quote as well, and have more people interested in the piece by using a lot of color and movement throughout the piece and the composition. So it really enlightens the community, like people want to come and look and explore the piece. I have different symbolisms throughout the piece, like the Oriole and the flowers at the bottom, and then you have the children looking up at Dr. King as he's speaking, as if he's actively giving out the quote. So a very fun piece, very vibrant, and wanted to bring that historical aspect into modern day. So, person that you may have read about, you see black and white pictures of him, but bringing him to life and bringing that energy and that color.
A Chat with the Artist event will be held tonight at 5 p.m. for Kelly to speak with the community. The mural will be unveiled this Friday at the Bowie City Gym at 10 a.m. And still ahead on CTV News tonight, a visit with your pet of the week. Stay with us.
A lot of my best memories of the holidays are centered around my grandmother. My grandmother's sweet potato pie, it just felt like a hug. I remember every time we'd come to her house, once you open that door, like it just hits you. And you're like, okay, the pies are ready, it's time. Food is a source of comfort. Food really helps bring people together.
Thanks for staying with us. Well, Maryland State Police are investigating an early morning shooting on the BW Parkway. Troopers received a call around 3 a.m. about a shooting on Route 295 at West Nursery Road. Officials say a man was driving along the highway when someone in a gray Nissan shot at him. Officials say the victim, who was shot once, exited the car while it was still moving on West Nursery Road. The victim was transported to a shock trauma center in Baltimore. A labor rally is set to get underway at the Shoppers grocery store in Largo. Organizers with United Food and commercial workers say some 1,200 members are at risk of losing their health care coverage and pension benefits. The union accuses Shoppers' parent company, UNFI, of refusing to fully fund the benefits. Shoppers operates 12 stores in the D.C. metro area. Workers have been under a contract extension since July 11th. Well, next month, you'll be able to send mail with a tribute to one of the Chesapeake Bay's most unique historical sites. The Ghost Fleet of Mallows Bay will be featured on new forever postage stamps. The picture was taken by Annapolis environmental photographer Peter Tursick. Mallows Bay is known for its ghost fleet of more than 100 shipwrecks and has been designated as a National Marine Sanctuary since 2019. CTV had the chance to visit the bay for a special report a few years ago. The Forever Stamp series showcases the diverse wildlife and underwater ecosystems found in the National Marine Sanctuary System. It's available to pre-order that stamp at USPS.com/stamps. The Major League Baseball draft ended yesterday, and the Baltimore Orioles made a tall order, literally. With the first pick in the 13th round, the Orioles selected 7-foot left-handed pitcher Jared Beck from St. Leo University. If Beck makes it to the major leagues, he will be the tallest player in the MLB history. But the Orioles see Beck doing more than towering over competition. With his fastball clocked at 95 miles per hour, he could be a real asset to this roster following some player development. Here is our adorable new pet of the week, Meet Buttons. She's a 1-year-old New Zealand white rabbit who is looking for a warm-hearted home. Animal Management's Megan Staub says she's loving and independent.
She's been with us since the middle of April, and we are dumbfounded on how she's still here. She is a sweet, lovable, kind of independent bunny, but otherwise very, very good for a home.
If you're interested in adopting Buttons, call 301-780-7201 for more information. And now let's get a quick check of our weather forecast. Tonight, mostly clear skies with a low near 77. Tomorrow, sunny with thunderstorms and a high around 95. Friday, mostly sunny, highs near 95 as well. And Saturday, it's going to be a hot, sunny day, highs around 98. Try and stay cool. And now for your community calendar, the Laurel Mill Playhouse presents Love Letters by A.R. Gurney. Enjoy this play about a wide-ranging love story featuring performers from the Playhouse, American Legion, and the Laurel Historical Society. Afternoon and evening performances take place from tomorrow, July 21st, through Sunday, July 24th. And afternoon performances are at 2 p.m. Evening shows begin at 8. For ticket information, visit laurelmillplayhouse.org. That wraps up our CTV News Update. I'm Patricia Vallone. Have a great night.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew a girl so smart, so responsible, she must be a keeper.